What's happening? It's your guy Mrlo. You tucking in with the Country Fan Mail podcast. Let's get into it.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy KlueDaDon, Country Fan Mail Podcast here, season 5, episode, man. I think it's 7 or 8. Can't even remember. But as y'all heard and as y'all see, I'm in here with the homie, Mr. Mrlo. Or I'm sorry, Mrlo. I always want people to say that Mr. part. What's going on with you, G?
Thanks for having me.
Already, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of your work and a lot of things that you're doing. And for one, you be everywhere. I just want to put that out there, man.
Hey, look, uh, that's part about it, being outside, being in the moment. So, yeah, I get around.
For sure, man. Already, man. So, first question I gotta ask you, bro. What was the first song you listened to when you woke up this morning?
It's probably off of something, off of Freddie Gibbs' Bandana.
That's a nasty take.
Remember the track? I think it was like Goddamn or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why you choose that track?
The melody, the bass line, the snare, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice way to open up the morning.
Okay. Do you usually choose like similar tracks when you kind of trying to, get that morning turn up?
I keep it pretty wide. Like I listen to a lot of oldies like Weldon Irvine, who else? Shoot. Yeah, Weldon Irvine, the Spinners, a lot of French jazz, some Japanese jazz, like Hiroshi Suzuki. Like he's got a couple of tracks that are just, pretty dope. So yeah, I keep it interesting.
For sure. Yeah, it sounds like it, man. It sounds like you definitely you can go a little bit of everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You stand Japanese jazz, you end on Freddie Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, be anywhere. For sure, man. So before we get into anything else, I want to, you to kind of give an opportunity to kind of let people know what you do and just what you do, man.
Well, call myself a photographer. Right now, the day job, I'm a production still photographer. So I'm shooting like the behind the scenes on TVs and TV shows and movies. And then I also keep a hand in music photography. So music festivals, concerts, local pop-ups. And then I just shoot in general. So street photography, abstract, whatever I feel like shooting, honestly. So that's a broad scope of everything. Just I'm a photographer.
Already, man. Yeah, and that kind of what I was saying before we started recording is that I like to make sure that I break up all the music interviews and point at people that are inside the culture that are completely understated in my personal opinion and are, I mean, literally the reasons why I feel like we know about majority of the things that's going on and what saying, and the things that we necessarily might not be able to attend, but we can still feel like we got that feeling throughout it. So, so kind of what's up?
Oh no, I heard that. Feel you. Yeah.
For sure. So kind of starting, kind of running it all the way back, as cliche as podcasts can get, kind of starting, saying how I say what was the first moment that you realized that, that was kind of what you wanted to do as far as be a photographer?
Well, it started really young, actually. Both my parents are photographers. Um, so that was a constant around the house. Like there was always a camera present. So yeah, anything I did as a kid, they pretty much documented it. So seeing from like a everyday like lifestyle type of photography kind of just brought me to like be mindful of having a camera around. Um, I'd say as I got older, like I had photo books that I'd look into and not necessarily be inspired, but just look at and kind of what you said, like even though you weren't there in the moment, you can look at these photos and feel like you were present in them.
Yeah.
So I guess with music photography, my pops had a Rolling Stones. I think it was like one of the top 100 most iconic moments in music. I forgot what the band was or like who was playing the certain night, but there was a venue called in Denver, Colorado, called the Red Rock Amphitheater. And the way the photographer captured was a black and white photo, and it was like kind of looking down on the stage, so you see like the skyline, and then you see the surrounding area, and it's a massive venue. So that was one of the photos that kind of got me interested into music photography. So then looking at just how hip hop and other music genres were documented, just seeing like how photo books were paired with albums and how it was kind of another feature in the hip hop or in
Mhm.
the music in general. So just being inspired by that kind of like led me into that. So being here in the local hip hop scene in Charlotte, there's local shows, there's pop ups, and being a fan first of the person I'm going to go shoot, kind of adds another element into my photography because I'm not necessarily just going to shoot you for being in the moment, but I'm looking to not necessarily build a relationship with you, but make sure that you're provided with good images because you're providing good music, a good environment to be in because
Yeah.
it's a thriving community.
For sure, and I like that you went into that because honestly, I mean, I feel like when you go there to make sure that essentially making sure that they look good, people are catching those moments. I mean, that is in a way building a relationship because I feel like, if it's kind of like that person, if you're around them, you got this big ass booger in your nose and they don't
Yeah.
say anything, and then you go to the next photo, they be like, "Yo, you got this." I know my nose ain't changed since I've seen the last person. What I'm
Or you
saying?
catch yourself in a reflection like, yo, I'm tripping. Like, I had this in my nose, nobody told me.
Ain't nobody say nothing to you. So I feel like, the people that want to make sure that you look good are just that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make sure that you look good and they're gonna make sure you got your best foot forward. And I feel like going to those iconic photos and just thinking of something like the first one I was as you were talking, I was thinking about the first iconic photo that I could think of in my mind. And it was the Outcast photo with Big Boy and Andre 3000, saying got his hands out
Yeah.
like this, got the I think it's the black and white flag behind him, and that might have been, I think that was around Stankonia times, or I might actually be more AT aliens. I can't remember, but either way, that was just one of the first. You know what I'm saying? The Biggie photo. That's a hell of an
Yeah.
iconic. It's just like everywhere. I
Or
mean,
Snoop Dogg with his perm and, how he was dressed up back in some of these award show days.
all
Like
that,
you
man.
see some of these iconic images go around. It's like, okay, not only was somebody present in that, venue, but they were cognizant of, the moment and made sure to capture that. So I have, massive respect for analog, like film photographers, because, um, you know, with the digital age, you can kind of just snap photos. And if you didn't get it right the first time, you can fire off, 5 or 10 photos without really caring. But you look
Mhm.
at some of these photographers back in the day, like one, the camera is heavy, usually made out of metal, and then you're limited to like 36 shots. So you're thinking about how do you capture, the event with limited materials. So for them to, get those moments and then for those images to not only be um, a hit in the moment, but then go on in history. And I'm pretty young, and then looking at these photos, I'm still being
Time.
cognizant of that moment being massive. Like, yeah, I can nerd out about it all day. Like it's pretty crazy.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, that's what we here to do, man. For sure. Cause I think about, even things that like I know I wasn't around for. Like I've seen some photos of Woodstock and been like, damn.
Yeah,
Like, you see a
yeah,
video of it and it looks like it was back in the 70s or wherever, whenever it was. But if you see a good photo, you be like, that looked like it could have been yesterday with people just
exactly.
dressed the way that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's that, yeah, that ability is, for one, everybody can't do it. Everybody cannot do it. Everybody can't be a photographer. I feel like with phones and all this shit like that, everybody thinks that we all think we're photographers. I'll be taking some shit, I'll be like, yo, that shit was kind of dope. But then it's like when you really match it up to somebody who actually do that shit, you see why it's an elite class in my personal opinion. So kind of segueing into those moments that you were talking about. So you don't have to necessarily talk about anybody specific or whatever, but like talk about some of the craziest moments that you've kind of witnessed just by being there as a photographer.
Man. Um, so there's a couple rappers. Well, one going back to the Red Rocks, I got to shoot the Wiz Khalifa was headlining with Trippie Redd and Currency. So
Yeah,
that
those
and it
some
was the
great
week of
pictures too.
420. So it was already like set up to be a pretty good show. But there was a moment where Trippie was trying to light a joint, and I guess his lighter went out. So he's like, let me get a lighter. And the way the pit is set up at the Red Rocks, like we're eye level with the artist, and then there's like stairs just going up, and then you just see like lighters just
That
raining
shit
down
is
over top of us. They cut it down with lighters. So that was pretty wild. And then some stuff on set actually, man, like shooting some of these stunt sequences, like it's just
oh,
one of
talk
those
about
moments
it.
where,
You did
yeah,
Marvel though, didn't you? Yo, that's crazy. That's big. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we
Talk
just
about
wrapped
it.
up Ironheart, she had her debut in Wakanda Forever. She has a standalone show coming out, so I got to shoot production stills for that. So it was an incredible time. Wonderful actor. The cast was incredible, but yeah, there was a whole bunch of crazy moments where I guess I need to get better about being in the moment about it, because I'll get the photos and look at it and be like, damn, these are some good photos, but it doesn't hit me like where you just shot like a whole stunt sequence, like there was shit flying past you and you're, still got a camera up to your face and you're not really being cognizant of everything else except what's in front of the lens.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, it's a lot of things where I sit back and look at some photos and like, yo, those crazy times.
It looked like it, man. I feel like without photographers and videographers and stuff like that, there's just so much of the world that we wouldn't have no idea about, or that
Yeah,
that I don't ever plan on going to see certain places. But it's just, but there's plenty of places I want to go, but there's certain places I'm just like, yeah, the bottom of the sea, I'm good.
yeah,
But cool,
I'm
we
cool
all
on that.
going
I'm
there.
glad you said that. Like my mom, she loves to go. She wants to go whale watching, and we've seen. I see photos that photographers capture when they go on those journeys. I'm like, Mom, I'm cool looking at these photos. I'm not trying to go take them because that's a whole different game. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
to your point exactly, like wartime photography, the civil rights photography, like all those moments, you're thinking about like, damn, like this is like a pivotal moment in history, and this
yeah.
person is being mindful enough to capture these things, and they're not really they're not looking for like the photo. They're just capturing, everyday life. They didn't know, if these photos are going to make it out or not.
You
So,
ain't know what was gonna happen that day. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, man, that's crazy. There's this movie on Netflix about these they're pretty much journalists in the Middle East, and it's kind of like I mean it's serious because about it's actually about the conflict, but it's a comedy at the same time. So it's kind of good. I better think of the name. I'm gonna send it to you. But
Was it Whiskey Tango Foxtrot or something like that?
yes, that one
Right.
right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I know exactly what you're talking about.
because
But
it's
yeah,
like
stuff
crazy
like that,
because
like,
like they
I'll look at those photos. I'm not going to be the guy to take those.
yeah, exactly.
That's the type of courage right there. I'll be the first one to back down from that.
You know what I'm saying? Like they'd be crazy. They be putting themselves in some interesting situations. I mean, it's like I serve, so it's like you put yourself in an interesting situation, but at least I have a gun. It's like these
Right.
motherfuckers be out there without
Just the camera, camera in the vest, like,
crazy, man.
gotta cover my six and everything.
So with like being in those situations, whether it's the parallel of being at like live shows, taking pictures, or being I guess like on a movie set or on a show set, saying taking those pictures, like what would you say is your favorite, and what would you kind of want your legacy to be if you had to choose?
Mm. My favorite thing about shooting in general, I like to be mindful of making the person comfortable. I've been known for people to kind of forget that I'm in the space with them. So like I'm
Mm,
super quiet, like while I'm shooting, like I got cameras that don't make noises, so you really don't know what's going on. We might be having a conversation. I'm just snapping away. So when you get these photos, it's like my goal for the I guess my legacy that I want to be talked about in my photography is being able to capture the personality in the image. Like, yeah, it can be in focus, it can be, lit correctly, but I want to make sure that your personality is captured in the image. So that goes into, on-set photography, that goes into music photography, that goes into every facet of my photography. Like I want to make sure that I'm able to either convey a story, or capture that personality to where you can not necessarily know the person, but that you feel like you have a connection with that person, whether you know them or not. So that's kind of one and the same. That's what I'm shooting for.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
That's real, man. I think one of the things like about your photography and in particular that I liked and that I really, said I found like I really found myself, really looking for it is just that, honestly. The ability to catch the moment, and also even if people posing for a photo, I feel like it's genuinely them, or it even gives you the feeling like it's genuinely them, saying, regardless if you see the, saying if you know the people or not. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of a lot of there's a lot of photographers and a lot of people that I follow from back in the city, and it definitely gives me, saying, this fear of missing out feeling, because y'all are so good at catching those moments. Y'all are
I
so good at
appreciate
catching
that.
those, oh, for sure, man. Y'all definitely doing y'all's things. Shout out to Sharice. So she's one of the ones that come to mind.
Yo, yeah,
I mean, crazy at catching moments. Like, I was
going
so upset
wild
that
with
I
it.
missed that first Durag Fest, because she had some amazing pictures. I was just like, yo, like that's just like
Yeah,
it blew my
there's
mind.
a this guy Shots by Lindsay. What he's doing right now is like incredible. Like I was talking to him not too long ago. When they tore West Charlotte down, I was talking to another homie, and I was like,
Hold on,
"Yo,
they tore West Charlotte down?
yeah, they tore the or building down."
What the fuck? Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yo,
this is
yeah.
crazy.
So
I
he
did
was one
not
of
know.
the. He's been doing this like love letter, like a visual essay to Charlotte, and he's been going around capturing certain staples in the community. And I was talking to the homie, and I was like, "Yo, he might have been one of the last people to take photos, of that establishment. So whenever it gets uh, to the new high school, like that's probably what they're going to be looking back on." And I was like, those are the kind of moments that I'm glad somebody's present to capture that. Like that's why I feel like everybody can be a photographer, pick up a phone or a camera, but for a person to be cognizant to capture that and understand
Yeah,
like what that means to a community, like that's powerful. So he's doing incredible work. There's tons of photographers like Mark Prosper does incredible work. Like Jump Cut, Cordrell, Doreen, like all these guys like were guys that I was looking at, like seeing how they were capturing the city made me, want to step my work up. So those guys, like everybody, like really does some like incredible work here.
that's dope, man. I
Yeah,
like that
like,
you shouted them out, because that's what I was literally gonna ask you to do. Like,
oh yeah,
please shout out people that saying that are making noise. And I feel like the community that I've been kind of saying, this is all from afar, of course, that I've been seeing kind of being built. And saying, I think I even, I think I followed you because I was following Skinny J or to
yo,
Kobe.
Skinny
It
J,
was some
that's the
type
other
of,
guy right there.
which Skinny J we gotta shout
Yo,
out Skinny J. Gotta
that's
shout out the dude.
that man. Yo, cease to like. Always amazes me how he can bring everybody together. Like it's always a good time being in his presence.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, like those events, man, Skinny J and friends and the whole creative collaboration. I'm trying to, like, every
Yep.
time I see those things go off, I'm literally just like, why have I not been home yet? Like, this is
You
crazy.
gotta make your way
Like, I
back,
can
fam. This
pull up
is
for
yeah.
sure.
Like
Already,
you'll
man.
have
So
to
yes,
do something.
yeah. Tell me about some of those moments that you caught at some of those events, man. Because you catch some really dope, dope events. You caught some really dope pictures of Cuzzo Keen. That's somebody I haven't actually met
Yo,
before, but every time you catch an image, I'm like, yo, I think he probably actually really like that.
we've had conversations about. I don't think he realizes how photogenic he is. Like that man is just like exudes real good energy. But yeah, Durag Fest, Skinny J and Friends. Uh, those are really cool days to be outside and be in the community because you see all these people come together, and it's not necessarily like super clicked up. Like yeah,
Yeah.
you do, you'll do the the electric slide or whatever, but then you see like when all the stuff starts dying down, people still talking and chopping it up, networking, not necessarily looking for like transactional relationships. Like you can tell like these people genuinely care about each other. Cause anytime I come home, I'm hitting up certain, people, letting them know like I'm back in town. The first thing we'll do might not be a shoot. We'll probably go break some bread, catch a drink or something
Catching up.
and
Yeah.
catch up. So it's like not only are, out here for a good time, but you're building a pretty good community. And every time, every event that's happening right now has been beautiful. Like I say it every time. Like I came home this past summer for Durag Fest. I was like, yo, this is incredible. Like the size that just took off from it being a strip being a whole festival now is crazy. So it's always a
Yeah,
good time to be out there.
for sure. Yeah, it's really been amazing seeing that grow. And so you don't live in Charlotte anymore. You kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, I'm back and forth right now. I have my wife, she's an artist, like she did that painting right there. Um, so
That's
she's
dope.
got a studio. So she does like workshops with the kids. So I'm back and forth between Atlanta and Charlotte at the moment.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So being somebody, saying that's from the city and been around for a while, like tell me, so I'm always curious because like I said, because I haven't been home, like as far as the transition the city has been going through. Cause I left, I think I've pretty much been removed from Charlotte since like 2010.
Mm.
Like 2009, you know what I'm saying? So it's been a good minute since, so I've been back home
All right.
and every time I go home, I get lost. Like every single time. Like I tried to navigate from Brookshire to Mount Holly, Huntersville, and
Oof.
was like, where the fuck did this overpass come from? Like, I was lost, man.
They've
I'm
been,
trying to say I was done.
been going crazy with it.
So
So
yeah, so tell me how you feel about that
I'm
transition.
I'm not from Charlotte. I'm a transplant. Like I went to school at Wingate University. It's like on the other side of Monroe.
For sure.
So when I graduated, I just moved to South Charlotte, and those events that we kind of described earlier. There was a rapper, Jamonte Ogbon, was hosting a pop up show. I pulled up there with my camera. I happened to see a homie I went to school with, and we kind of linked there, and that's kind of how I got ingrained like with Charlotte. So just
For sure.
being around in those scenes, they kind of welcomed me in, and that's why I say these events are beautiful. But
Yeah.
yeah, living in Charlotte for the past 4 or 5 years, yeah, I get the same feeling every time I come home. Well, come back from Atlanta, I'm like, yo, when is this coming up? But seeing some of the stuff that's changed, uh, there's not as much um, maneuverability with hip hop in Charlotte. Like as far as venues going, like there's a lot of venues that
They're
have
not they're
kind of
not really
shy
fucking
away
with hip
from
hop
it.
artists out there.
No, the artists out here is like the venues really don't accept them, and they won't host a show. Like they'll
Yeah,
always
yeah.
for insurance purposes or whatever, they'll say something like that. But
It's
some of
wild.
the events that they make happen, why they happen, those sizes, that's what happens. Like, they all come together, they're pretty big. Because, some of these bigger venues like Snug used to do stuff. I haven't been back. I haven't heard, stuff, stuff shut down with COVID. But
Mhm.
I feel like it'll come back soon. Like some of these events that are happening now with like the $100 art fair that's coming up this weekend, and then stuff that's going on at the top of 2023. 2023. I
Yeah.
feel like they'll start building back with energy.
For sure, for sure. That's really good to hear because like I said, I don't know too much of what's going on, and I'm I really just always want to try to understand. But I feel like now that even sheds more of a light of importance on the venues and the things that are going on and that have been happening. Saying Skinny J and Friends, and what was what's the one that the Elevator J was the player made.
Oh yeah, Player Made, yo, those
Saying
those are always a good time. Yeah, I
yeah,
want
so
those to come back.
yeah, I've watched, saying videos and tried my best to kind of feel the vibe, but it just seems like unless you there, what I'm saying,
Yeah, you got to
so
be outside with it.
for sure, man, for sure. So tell me like what's something coming up? What are some things that you have coming up? Because I mean, I feel like, you just did something with Marvel. I feel
Yeah.
like I mean it's always been up, but once it's there, it's nothing but up
Uh,
from there, man.
Honestly, man, just more photography stuff. So Haunted Mansion, we just finished that earlier this year. That should be coming out next year. The Marvel TV show come out next year.
Big
Um,
Disney plays.
yeah, that's the work. But yeah, I'm interested in motorsport photography right now. Like I've been getting into F1 and NASCAR, and I, want to try my hand at that. So, want to start, digging my way into that. But then just staying, having a hand in the community, man. Still, coming out to shows, being there when I can, and then, who knows with the production stuff. Like I'd like to keep a hand in that, but
Yeah.
there's more stuff that I want to shoot. So it's like whatever comes first.
For sure, man. I like that, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely I'm seeing a lot of good shit for you, for real, for real. Even especially with the motorsports. I mean, white people love to see them crashes. They love to see them when the
Yeah.
cars be flipping and little pieces be flying off the motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody is okay. But them moments be like, God damn, like that
Yeah.
photographer
Real
just got
silent.
me right there.
Yo, capturing those images, I feel like there was a race, I forgot where it was. I think it was a Silverstone in the UK. It was a F1 race, but there was a car that went like it was upside down for like a couple hundred feet, and then hit a curb and like flew over like a barrier, and then there was like photos like frame by frame where somebody was just snapping like every moment of, and it's like, bro, I wouldn't even really think like I'm thinking about like getting the hell out the way. So for somebody, to
Yeah,
be focused enough to be like, yeah, let's capture this. Yeah, like I want to, I see that and it's like, I want to try that.
for sure. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I like I said, I said it once before, I said it again. Like photographers and videographers, y'all are literally the reason why we, what I'm saying, can see the world, what I'm saying, can see a lot of things, what I'm saying. Shout out to the National Geographics all the way to whoever took the beauty of the week pictures every week in Jet magazine. I
Yep.
appreciate you. You know, so you gave. I used to have them all on my wall,
Hey,
so you had the whole and be like, okay, so there's like so many different. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but like for real, shout out to what I'm saying, to all the photographers, and like I said, and then I really do like was want to say, like, I definitely appreciate you and what you do for the culture, and what I'm saying, keep doing your thing, man. Like definitely keep doing your thing, and
will
please
do.
let
Much
everybody
love,
know
family.
already, man. Let everybody know where they can find you and where they can where they can find you and where they can see your stuff.
So my website is jalenmarlowe.com. That's JalenMarlowe.com. Instagram is MRLO with two underscores. And Twitter is MRLO with the underscore.
For
But yeah,
sure, man.
man, I'm looking forward to more photos. I got a camera I just rented not too long ago, so I'm trying my hand at some black and white photography. I got tons of film I need to go through. So yeah, gonna be getting these photos out soon.
Already, man. I'm definitely looking forward to see it, man. And when I'm in the city, I'm definitely gonna reach out to you, man. We got to make something
Oh, for
work for sure.
sure.
Already,
Yeah,
man.
we'll do.
Already, for sure, for sure. And I can't let this interview go out. I wanted to make sure that I shouted out the homie. Shout out to J Tips. Picked up that mystery box hat from his pack. Trying to tell
That's
you,
fine.
it's different. It fits. It's a Subway pack. Make sure that you definitely go tap in with J Tips for some of the freshest hats. What I'm saying? Really quick shipping. Everything was seamless. Everything came clean. And you're gonna be the only person around. You're gonna be the only person in the hood with it. Trust, believe. So yeah, make sure that y'all tap in. Thank y'all for watching KlueDaDon Country Fan Mail Podcast. Hey, I appreciate you, John.
I appreciate you, fam.
Yes, sir.